One. And hey, welcome everybody. I am back. Thanks for joining me. It's been a long time. I missed you guys, but hey, we are here. ArmTalk. I'm your boy, Chocolate Thunder Jody Williams. And today, my guest is the man, the chairman, the CEO, if you will, of NatFit, Mr. Jamie Sheldon. Jamie, how you doing today?
I'm alive and well, Jody. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My training's been going pretty good. I got big things coming up the next couple weekends, revolving around college graduation, and then in 2 weeks, Nevada State Championships, which is why I got you on the show today, because my friend, you, sir, have a mega match with a guy named AJ Henson. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I keep getting set up with these monsters, and I keep agreeing to it. So I don't know, but AJ, he's obviously, well, people who don't really know AJ because he's not on social media, so he doesn't have that presence. But I mean, this guy's been in the sport for a long time. He shows up, kicks ass, and goes home back to his life. So he doesn't get mixed up into Facebook and Instagram and any of that. So a lot of the new viewers and new pullers probably don't know who he is, but just to give people a little recap, like when I was in the WAL at the lightweights, he was in the middleweights and he was doing very well. Like he was placing in the top on the regionals. He was placing, in the top 10 at the finals. So he's on the radar as somebody who can give you quite the challenge. And we pulled once before, and it was at Hawthorne several years ago. I stepped up into the 205s when I was 185s, and he just slammed me. So I basically collected all that data. And when the match was presented to me, I said, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. I'm heavy. I'm as heavy as him now. So let's see if I can find a lane and get a win on him or several. So I always like to challenge myself.
I'm going to tell everybody out there watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, gentlemen and ladies. That 205 class, and for those who don't know, Hawthorne, Nevada, it's a military town. It's a town in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, okay? And the array of talent that comes there every May blows my mind. I've been there on a couple occasions. Jamie, you've been there on a couple occasions. And I'm telling you right now, that 205 class is going to be stacked. You, AJ, Justin Green, the list goes on and on. Maybe Craig Tullier might come back out. Who knows? But I'm telling you right now, that class is going to be hell, fire, and brimstone, my friend.
Yeah. Craig actually did say that he's going to come out. So you'll have Craig there. You'll have Dallas Langston. You'll have Corey Miller jumping up from the 85s to the 205s as well.
Oleg. Mika? Yeah. Is Mika going too?
You know what? Mika told us this week that his right still isn't tip-top yet. So I think he's still trying to recover from that. So he's going to bow this one out. Otherwise, he would be in that class as well.
Yeah. Justin Green says yes. He had confirmed Craig will be there. I'm telling you, man, and if Scott Evans is going to be there, by all means. If you don't know Scott Evans, the guy's on Utah Arm Wrestling. Now, the one thing that kind of sets, Utah, separates them above the rest as far as filming does, is because they have those cameras on the actual table. And, and I was privy to that because at Arizona State, you were there, Jamie. You didn't compete, but you were there. They had the cameras on the corners of the table. And, again, Scott, I'm sorry. I got so happy. I had a wonder match. I smacked the table, shaking the camera. I apologize once again. But they have those cameras there. And I like that because the fact that if by chance we have a situation where did their elbow come off the pad? Was it micro foul? Whatever. That camera catches everything. So that's real good about that. But I'm telling you, that's going to be an awesome event. Every class will be stacked to the brim. I'm glad I get to, put my name in the hat, mixed up at the 232 class. Hopefully I can get there. My fat ass needs to, trim down and stuff, but I can make it there. Tell us, everybody, your training. How's your training working up to AJ? How's that been going?
Well, all the gains are where they're going to be. So, the last month, actually the last 2 months, I'm just, eating, lifting, getting stronger. I get on the table like once a month. I can't pull every week or every other week like some of these guys anymore, but I try to get, at least one hard practice in. That's why I didn't pull Arizona. I just wanted to keep the gains coming, because if I went and pulled that event, I would have been fried for the next few weeks, and it takes me a lot longer to recover. And after Philadelphia, my shoulder was wrecked, so I had to take at least 3 weeks off from everything before I could start, getting back to those strength gains. So my window was very small to get ready for this event, but I feel great. The gains are where they need to be. My weight's where it needs to be. I got to lose a little bit of weight after Philly, which was nice. And I think I feel better around the 200, 205, I guess, range. So I think I'll probably stay here around the 198s, 205s for a while and just kind of see how I do with these guys here. 220 was a little too heavy. It's getting harder to tie your shoes in your 40s when you're heavier. So yeah, 205 will be good.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I know when you first got into the sport, you were a 154-pound class.
Yeah, first 10 years of my career, 154. I even did 143s once.
Oh, wow. And,
it was terrible.
As we get older, we tend to put on the pounds unless you're just like life commitment. I'm going to stay at, Alan Fisher weight my entire career. Fine. Those guys, are special. Fisher, Cobra, they can maintain that weight lifelong. When I got into the sport, I was a 198 puller. I was a walking bobblehead. And now I'm, 235? So, I'm a lot stronger. I'm probably in more shape at 220 than 235. But I was more stronger at 220 than I ever was at 198. Do you feel that that might be the same thing for you now, being around a 205?
Well, when I tell people that I was, 185 or 195 and then 205, people are just in shock. And I'm like, guys, I'm 6 feet tall. And when I got into arm wrestling, my very, very first tournament, I was 176. But, the 5 years prior to that, I got up to 198 in college. So, my body, when I'm in the gym, wants to be in the high 190s. So It's not that hard for me to get there. I pulled that first tournament 17 years ago at 176. And then for a month, I didn't work out because my arms were just fried. So I got to the next event. I weighed in on accident at 154. Then I decided just to stay there because I'm like, well, I'm really lean. I can maintain this weight, and I'm a tall guy in the class. Why not? So I just decided, all right, well, I'll plan my career around 154.
Right.
But it's so much nicer to be heavier. Like, my body feels better. I have less injuries. And I like to be strong. I'm a gym guy. So, I lift weights, I gain weight.
Yeah.
That easy.
I mean, hey, everyone does gain the weight once you put the muscle on. And it's always good to eat. My wife's a hell of a cook. I love to eat her cooking. It always feels good not to sit there and do some drastic weight cut. I've done all the dumb stuff in the past. I'll tell you a quick story because I know you may have one too. So I went my first ever nationals, 2012 at Harris Casino in Reno, Nevada, right? And this was when I was a 198 puller. I walked around, 205. I can cut to 198, no problem. But I wanted to pull the 187 class. Check that. I got talked into pulling the 187-pound class because the guys from 220 were coming on to 198. Okay, drank the Kool-Aid, decided to go ahead and pull 187. So yes, boys and girls, your boy, Chocolate Thunder, weighed in at 187 at the 2012 Unified Nationals. Now, I was quicker than lightning, but I had no power. I sucked all the way down. I was never a amateur wrestler in high school, so cutting weight was like foreign to me, right? And when I did that, I did all the stupid stuff. That week all I ate was salad, drank water. That was it. No meat, no nothing. So I wanted to make sure I kept the weight down and keep it going down. So me, Nano Cruz, Darren Wartina rolled up there. We drove there. It's about a 6-hour drive from where we are in Oregon. And we drove down there. We took a scale. We stopped every hour or so in the middle of the highway, got on the scale, weighed ourselves. Okay, we're about 5 pounds off. We're going to make it. We drink distilled water, taking rest stops, going to use the bathroom, get all that stuff flushed out of our system. We finally get there, go register, and hey, let's hop on the scale. Oh, I'm 2 pounds over. Cool. Let's just go to the sauna, steam room, get all that stuff out. Didn't know I was in the steam room. No, sorry, the sauna for like a half hour, just chit-chatting with people. Again, this is new to me. So when I walk out and all the oxygen hit me, I'm like, damn near faint, right? This is all new to me. I'm thinking, holy crap, I don't want to do this again, right? So I get down there and I'm thinking, all right, I should be good now. After the sauna and the steam room, I should be good to go. And I get there, and when it comes to nationals, they don't mess around. So I hop on the scale and it says, hey, I'm 2 ounces over, like to a T. I'm 2 ounces over. I'm like, damn. So the guy says, hey, you can either go back and spend another 10 minutes in there, or you can probably drop trowel, take off your wedding ring, see what happens. Now, I got my boys making a wall for me because there's still people registering, right? Drop trowel, take off my wedding ring, bam, 187 on the dot. Cool, I'm good to go. Now I go to the food court up at Harris Casino. I get me a foot-long Quiznos roast beef sandwich and the biggest Dr. Pepper you ever want to drink in your life. Took 3 bites and was full because my stomach had shrunk, right?
Yep.
So the moral of the story is that I don't like to cut weight like that anymore. I will never do it. I don't like it. I never was, a fan of it. That's just the way it is. Now, Jamie.
Was that the UAL? Was that the UAL hosted?
Yes.
That's like my favorite nationals ever because I won the overall that day.
Because that was, let's see here, the 12, that was, well, they came twice. They came in 14 and 12. The one in 2012, that was the one where they had a last-minute super match between, it was Todd Zilla versus Bill Laws, and then Chris Chandler and John Brzezinski. That was like the little show. And
okay, I'm thinking it was 14. I think 14 is the one I went to. In Reno. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And that's when Ryan Clark was crushing everybody in overalls, and then you came in, did your thing and got the overall. So yeah, those were fun. But tell me, any stories you got as far as cutting weight and all the adventures and stuff?
Yeah, I'll share one with you. Actually, it was Tahoe in 2008. I decided 3 months prior to go give it a run at 143s because for some reason I thought, Rick Salawada's lean. He's about my height, and this guy makes 143s. Maybe I could do it too and go to Worlds, whatever. So I spent 4 months dieting the extra 10, 11 pounds very slowly down to 143. And I actually weighed in. We were driving out there, me, Harold, and Jake Smith.
Yeah.
And, Harold Wright and Jake Smith. So we this is our funny stay in a van down by the river story. We all slept in Harold's van. We never even got a room. But anyways, so we get there. We knock on Leonard's, door at like midnight, and he lets me get on the scale. This is after weigh-ins, and because we got there late. And I weighed in at 139, Jody.
Are you serious?
139 pounds. I looked like death. And I didn't even place that high. I think I took third or something like that. Like, it wasn't even worth it. It was just like, why the heck do I do this? But back then I thought, you got to get lighter. You got to get lighter. I should have just said, you know what? Get bigger, get stronger, and just be comfortable and learn how to arm wrestle. Because back then I didn't really know how to arm wrestle anyway. I was just trying to top roll people, fly sideways, and and it didn't work. I lost to Rick, and I lost to, I think, Benji Dwyer.
Oh yeah,
these guys were making 132s back then, so it was like, yeah, never again. So yeah, that was terrible. I felt like death. I didn't perform well, and it was a waste of. Actually, I wouldn't call it a waste. It was a learning experience.
Yeah. So even some of my teammates, from years past, oh yeah, if you want to be the top dog, you got to weigh this amount, and we're talking like 20 pounds lighter than 198. I'm thinking, dude, there is no way I'm gonna do that, man. I'm just not built. I got a football and a rugby background. There was no way, once I start lifting weights, because back then when I first got into the sport, Jamie, I didn't lift weights. It was just table time, 24/7, on the on the table twice a week, basically. But I didn't lift any weights, and I knew that year at nationals when I'm pulling people like Randy Weaver, right? Bart Wood. I mean, Bart Wood was in my class. Randy Weaver was in my class. Yeah, I mean, just to name a few. When those guys were beating me, they were stronger than me. I'm thinking I'm fast, but it doesn't mean nothing if you ain't got any strength. And so at that point, it said, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say, hey, screw it. I'm gonna get strong. I'm just gonna lift some weights and just see where it goes. But as you get older, because now I'm 46 years old, so at some point, you're going to put on the pounds as you get older, unless you're one of those freakazoids like, Fisher and Cobra who can maintain their weight for like 50 some odd years. But,
right.
That's just the way it is for me. But I don't want to get too happy to where, now I'm like 250, I want to stay somewhere between 230, that kind of stuff now. But yeah, and it's like, it's just crazy. I mean, for me, I think, being strong helps, being strength. Once you know how to arm wrestle, then I think, and I was talking about this on the last show with Ryan earlier this morning, for an elite level puller, right? To get to the very, very tip top, at that point, everybody on that upper echelon knows how to arm wrestle. At that point, it's all about, hey, who's stronger, who can get to their strong spot first. Do you agree or disagree?
Absolutely. And back to the whole weight thing. I mean, most people are gaining weight over time. Like, I think I was listening to one of the interviews with Travis and Artem, and I guess Travis weighed 215 at one tournament.
Yeah.
And then he got up to like the 270s, as a super heavyweight. We just talked about Craig Tullier. Craig Tullier was the 132-pound, I think, national champion, and then he's won national titles all the way up to 205.
Yeah.
Chris Chandler used to be 165 when I was 165, and then he decided to hit bodybuilding and gained 100 pounds. But he's 6 feet tall as well, and his frame can carry that. So,
right.
Me gaining 40, 50 pounds isn't that off. Most people have gained weight, so. But
and that's just part of it. I mean, yeah, guys, Chris Chandler was 165. Go look at the old school ROTNs in ArmTV, and you'll see it. He looks different, But again, as we get older, we all tend to pack on the weight, and it happens. I will never ever pull 198 again. That's just what I see myself as. As for you though, you said you're stronger now at 205 in that area than you ever were at 185 and 165. So is this where you're going to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to set up camp. This is where I'm going to be at. Let's have at it.
Yeah, I think my body's acclimating around 200 now. Like it's kind of just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, several years ago, it would want to creep back down to 185 if I laid off the gym or the calories a bit. So I feel good at 200. Will I be as successful as I think I'll do fine. Like, I was never going to be the best 154 pounder, 176, 85, never. But I can mess up some of their days. So as long as I'm relevant in the conversation, which I have always been, I've always been in the rankings somewhere, in my career.
Yeah.
I'll continue to stay there. And I feel good at 205. And, it's kind of funny. I was having this conversation with my dad recently. It's like, since I gained weight, I've had more opportunities. So, people are giving me matches, they're offering me matches. I'm having more fun with it. I'm testing my frame, and I'll continue to do that as long as I'm healthy, So I'll stay here at 205, right in the middle.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because my next question segues into this. Why is it that some of the supers get more love as far as attention rather than the lightweights? And I know for me, when I look at tournaments now, I'll look at my weight class first to see, okay, if I was there, could I hang? And I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, I'm going to meet this guy somewhere down the line. Let me see what they got to offer. Do you feel the same way where, okay, I'm going to focus on, for example, King of California, I'm watching the 205 class, or the Arizona tournament a couple weekends ago. I'm really going to watch the 205 class to see if I threw my name in the hat, would I be able to hang? Do you ever see yourself doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's great matches and charismatic people in every weight class. It's just, maybe it's like the same thing with boxing. I mean, at least for me, I was always a fan of the heavyweights in boxing, and that's what I would watch. I didn't really care about the light guys, the De La Hoyas, I never thought that it was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the same way for arm wrestling. People just like the bigger dudes. It's more exciting to watch, Levon, the monsters pull each other. Maybe that's just the way it is. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't promote arm wrestling really anymore. Like, as a promoter, I don't throw events. I'm helping with events, but
right.
I mean, what do people want to see the most? Do they want to see the biggest, craziest guys? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's what it is. It seems like, where, okay, we want to see the big names, they carry, what's the word they're using now? Clout, whatever. They want to see all that. They want to see, okay, the Devin Michaels, they're all in that super heavyweight, the Chafees of the world, Cataract, now Chansaw's up there, add Derek Smith, add, Corey West, Wayne Withers, list goes on and on, they're more appealing, I guess. But hey,
I guess to the outside guys, I mean, 6'8" Derek Smith at 360 pounds is very entertaining. When you're in the room with him, he's a giant.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Corey West. I mean, but then as for people like us who actually love arm wrestling, I was more excited to watch Corey Miller versus Giannis just because I have history with Corey.
Right.
Giannis is the Jedi. It's more an exciting arm wrestling match, in my opinion, than watching some of these bigger dudes. But I guess if we're trying to get outside eyes on the sport, nobody's really going to care about a small guy unless he's beating up the big guy, right?
Right. And
two small guys going at it don't really sell tickets, I guess.
Right. Well, Preacher Arm Wrestling just had a comment in the section. It was legit. He said Corey versus Giannis wasn't hardly even talked about till 2 weeks prior to Arizona. And yeah, for all intents and purposes, he's probably right with that. And I will say this: that match, and I said this before, that match could have took place anywhere. That match right there between Giannis and Corey, that kind of matchup on that level could have happened at a King of the Table. That could have happened at an East versus West. But the fact that it happened here in the States was big. And yeah, maybe didn't get the amount of talk it probably should have, but that was big time right there. And Jamie, you were there in person. Tell everybody at the chat how electrifying that crowd was when those guys got on the stage, because that was the main event. And these guys are not in the super heavyweight division, by the way. Tell everybody the electricity that went on in there.
Oh yeah, I drove out just to watch that. That's my whole reason for going, was to watch that event, support Corey. I wanted to grip up with Giannis just because I've never pulled him. I just wanted to feel him. And I was in no position to arm wrestle anyway. I'm all broken down. But you go to an event, you have to get on the table. And I actually felt it for like a week after that. But yeah, the whole promotion was amazing. Like the VIP, I mean, even the tournament. Like we got out there early to watch some of the tournament too before the super matches. And Tim always puts on a great event.
Yeah.
That first hit though from Corey. I mean, I was standing behind Corey in his corner, and just seeing him go to the side, and then seeing Luke put up his hand for winner. Like my adrenaline got through the roof, and I tried to keep it under wraps because it was like, this is what Corey wanted to do. He wanted to flash pin him at least once, and I was just so happy for him. And then. But we know it's Giannis. We knew he was going to make it. Yeah, it was just amazing. It was amazing all-around experience. The live feed was great, from what I understand.
Oh,
yeah.
It was amazing. And just to put a cherry top on that first hit that Corey had, I'm there with Don Underwood, and we're like calling the play-by-play action. And when Corey had that flash pin on him round one, and the eruption it had, like, I thought people couldn't hear me. Like it was that loud. So I had to talk louder because I'm thinking, are they going to hear what we're saying now? And, Corey's fired up. He goes back to the corner. He has Bob Brown in his corner. That alone says, okay, dude, maybe Corey has this. And Giannis walked to his corner where Coach Ray was with a smirk going, okay, he got me, but I got this the rest of the way, and I was, kind of bummed out that Corey didn't pull out. Everybody was cheering for him. But I'm telling you right now, that first match hit, and I'm telling you, it was so freaking loud. I'm like, oh my God. They
should have had a camera facing you and Donnie to see what your reaction was. Kind of like the Joe Rogan reaction, when somebody gets knocked out, you see Joe getting all crazy. Because I'm sure you guys had like just that wow factor on your faces. That would have been funny to see.
What's that meme out there with the O, and is it Chris Pratt when he did The Office, and that meme he has the O? It was kind of like that, like wow, like holy crap, did that just happen? Because you knew Corey was going to hit. We all knew Corey's known for his hit. It doesn't matter if he's hitting somebody at 165, 205, or 275. He's coming. And the fact that he did that, I'm like going, wow. I was like going, are you serious? I'm thinking things.
I've been on the receiving end of that many times, brother.
Exactly. And things just got super duper like, whoa, like, okay, we have a match, folks. And High Dollar Entertainment, welcome to the show. Just coming off, Unified Nationals, by the way, in Kansas City. Did you catch some of that, by the way, Jamie?
Yeah, I saw a few videos that Simon Barachoa posted. I saw Corey and Jeff pull. You know, of course, I'm heavier now, but I'm still invested in my friends, so I still like to watch those guys go to war with each other. And yeah, I heard Jeff Hale had a great day. It's good to see him back after his injury with Giannis.
Yeah.
Corey had a good day. I'm surprised he pulled so quick after his match, but that's Corey.
Oh,
and that's the thing, you know, people who didn't know Corey, like the new crop of people, and they're saying like, oh, Corey doesn't pull a whole lot. Yes, he does. The guy pulls every month. It's just, you know, he's running events, he's hosting events, and he's helping out Leonard, Denise. Like, he's as active as any of us. It's just people aren't tuned in because he's not the social media guy. And that's probably why his match didn't get on State Kings, because they don't really do what we do.
Right.
You know, Giannis has the voice of arm wrestling. He's got Ray. But, I mean, I would have loved to have seen it on State Kings. I mean, probably could have done a shutout Stake, and Corey would have beat the odds because he got that flash pin. But who am I? You know, I'm not Devin. But, you know.
Well, I mean, and honestly, you know, for all these new group of pullers now, and Jamie, you and I know this to a T. I remember 2011. Yeah, I've been around the block, guys. 2011, Corey Miller came to the U.S. Open in Florence, Oregon. Okay, that guy pulled 8 classes, by the way, taking top 3 in all. Think about that for a second.
I believe it. Yep.
165, 185, 205, 232, and 233 and over. Both hands. Okay, and took top 3 in all of them. Did it again in Minnesota, I think the same year or a year after. But that goes to show you a machine that guy is. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. And you know firsthand, Jamie, the amount, I mean, in those days, it was like he was the guy to beat at the light class because you were 154 back then. So you knew you were going to have to face him at some point.
Right. Yeah, he's always been. Actually, you know what? I pulled Corey when we were both amateurs back in 2005 in Vegas, and back then when I made 154s, I was like, dude, I'm bigger than everybody. I'm gonna crush everybody. You know, this is my second tournament, and I'm feeling cocky.
Right.
And I was basically everybody was running away from my hand, and I was just going sideways through people in the strap, and I didn't even know how to pull in the strap. And then I had to go against Corey. And I saw how fast he was. He was just, you know, flashing people, lighting people up. And then we got in the strap and he flashed me. And I'm like, damn. And we were amateurs. And Corey didn't even win that class. He took second.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything. So, yeah, we go way back to when Corey was just fast. And then when he got stronger, and people don't realize how strong that guy is, man. He is powerful. So, yeah, I've felt that hit many times. And it's been a while. Well, actually, no. I pulled him last year in Arizona. He flash pinned me there too.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Jamie, and tell everybody. So back in the day, when I say back in the day, we're talking 2012, 2013, 14. A few guys stick out in my head in that 165-pound class, 185-pound class. It was always guys like yourself, Jake Smith, Corey Miller, Brandon Dye, Luke Kent, Corey Miller. It was always those guys at a tournament and knocking heads. So for guys that put all of the stakes and all the attention on the upper class, that class right there was in a class by itself. And I'm telling you right now, all the people in the heavyweight class and supers were tuned in when all you guys were throwing at, you know, we're getting after it in those classes. Tell everybody out there, like when you went to those tournaments and the guys I just mentioned, with yourself included, that it was like, okay, one of us is going to be finishing last. One of us is going to be finishing first. Tell everybody what it was like to pull with that kind of talent in that class.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even just going to nationals, there was one year where I think it was Corey, Jeff, myself, Simon, and we're all just standing around like, dude. And I think Simon even brought it up. He's like, yeah, just this group right here, you know, anybody can get to the finals and win it because some of us are going home early, especially if we get matched up early. And then that's how it should be. That's how nationals should be. You want the best in the country representing it. That way, when you win, you know, you beat the best in the country, right? And I've taken second at nationals many times, you know. So it was fun back then. We were all kind of mixing up in the 154s. And then jumping into the 165s with like when UAL started, that was fun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then other people started to come out of the woodwork, like the Sam Harrises, and that's that next generation. Not that we're that much older than him, but those kids are young still, man. Like we're in our 40s. But,
dude, my daughter is 24, not too far off from some of the guys who are elite right now. Like not that far off. So I mean, I'm aging myself, but I mean, yeah, I got in sport late, but still, it's like, I kind of miss that. There's a part of me that kind of misses that because I know where we're at right now in the sport is more of, hey man, it's all about the super matches, rightfully so, staking, hey, shutouts, all that kind of stuff. I get it. I understand that. It's cool to have because there's a place for it. But I kind of miss those kind of tournaments because then it was like, okay, who's all going to go? Because you want to mix it up. It wasn't about, I don't want to go there and lose. No, you want to mix it up because they also got to realize that even though you're in a tournament with all those big names in your weight class, and one half of you says, I might go 2 and out, depending on how the bracket's set. Look at the glass half full because those big names might cancel each other out because they're going to go first round. You may get somebody either easy or you may get a bye in the first round where you go to that next round and you're coming off a guy who had a big war. That might be in your favor. And that's what made tournaments interesting. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And I actually really like tournament pulling. I would consider myself a better tournament puller than a supermatch puller. Because usually I'll get that first win on somebody because they're not expecting the tools that I have. Or let's say if your hand's better than mine, stronger, fine. Okay, I'll just go to the strap. I've been known to push people sideways through with my tricep, and a lot of guys aren't expecting that. But the problem is it blows me up too.
Right.
So, it happened in Philly. I won that first match, and then Dustin was just a bigger, stronger guy, and then he changed up his strategy. And by then, my elbow was done. I had nothing left. I'm like, well, at least I got the first win.
Right.
Doesn't matter in a super match if you lose the next 3. So, and in my career, I've managed to get wins on people in that same fashion. Beating them the first time we pull, and then then they figure it out, and then they end up winning the super match. But it's all good. But I prefer tournament pulling. But I do like the super matches because it gives me something to seriously focus on.
Yeah.
And I usually pull the super match and the tournament anyway. So it's kind of like double dipping.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Aaron Yearsley, a.k.a. Macho Man, wanted me to tell you he wanted to say hi to you, Jamie. So there you go.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Fox 8-Ball says, I love Jamie Sheldon so much that he's drawn his face. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. We're going to roll with that,
Yeah, he drew a picture. Well, I'm sure he'll post it, and I'll share it when he reposts it again.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're going to pull a tournament and the match, right? So riddle me this. You're pulling AJ. It's right-handed, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't mess around left-handed. That's the injured arm from years and years ago. And I never had the patience to try to get it up to par.
Right.
I've only competed once left-handed, and that was at a local tournament 15 years ago.
Right. And like I said, I mean, in 85% of America is right-handed anyway. So in arm wrestling world, 85% of the arm wrestling world is probably going to super match, right-handed, which I am the total opposite. It's like, oh, okay. And it's weird because I got this thing, and I don't know, tell me, what you think about this. I feel that, because I'm more successful left-handed than I am right-handed, that is it really me that's being successful, or is it because a lot of people don't put a lot of stake in their left? And so I've always kind of fought with that within myself. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, not being a left-handed puller, but I've seen, let's take Jake Smith, for example. Jake Smith's a right-handed guy.
Yeah.
But he won his first national title left-handed. So there's something to be said about the left-handed arm wrestling. I mean, and a lot of the guys that are left-handed, I guess, can pull both. I guess don't quote me on the statistics, but it just seems that guys who can pull left-handed are more equal than the guys who don't.
Yeah.
Succeed left-handed. You know what I mean? Like a right-handed guy pulling left-handed doesn't do well as a left-handed guy pulling right-handed.
Right.
I could be wrong, but there are some left-handed killers out there, like, Devin Bear. I never got a chance to pull him left-handed, but wouldn't have mattered. But finally got to pull him right-handed last year. But he's good both arms, but his left is clearly better, right?
Yeah. Jason Merlot's another one over here on the East Coast. He's another guy where, dude, his left hand is just like, oh, it's a lot different. Paul Stevens wants to say hi, by the way, Jamie.
Hey, Paul Stevens, how you doing, buddy? We go way back too.
There you go. Love that guy. I'm going to miss you at Nevada State. He decided to last minute, him and his wife decided to come to Arizona State. I'm glad they were there, but I was looking forward to seeing them there at Nevada State. Won't be able to make it. I'm bummed out because him and I kind of go back and forth on the table. It's pretty cool. It's a little friendly rivalry. You know, I like that. Who knows? Maybe one of these.
Unfortunately, it's the same day as the Fit Expo, which got moved because of the COVID bullshit.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Bill Collins, they stacked two of his events in the same weekend. And, but oh well.
Yeah. Happens. So, folks in the chat, how that goes is that Bill Collins will be doing the Nevada State tournament, and Chris Collins will be doing the LA Expo. So I mean that in the LA Fit Expo. So you know, I'm looking at it going, damn, you know, is that going to wipe away the talent pool? I don't know. I think we'll still have, you know, a good amount of talent in Nevada. But yeah, it's going to be it's kind of hard. It's kind of unfortunate that they kind of said, all right, let's just move it to this particular day. Because when it's the LA Expo, you really can't change that date. That's just how it goes, you know, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna be kind of rough. But rest assured, lots to talk about. Big arm wrestling day going there. What else you got going forward, Jamie? What else you got going on for yourself?
Well, I didn't plan anything after this match, but I've had a couple offers to go a couple other places to pull.
Yeah.
And I didn't commit to anything yet, but I've had people offer to, you know, send me to the Midwest again, Florida. So we'll see what happens. But there's also a tournament here in Orange County, July 9th. There's a young team that's hosting an event, and they were trying to get some super matches too. I think Derek was trying to get his match with Dave Chafee out there, but I don't think that's going to happen yet. But I might pull that tournament and kind of see what else is going on. Greg Sharp is hosting a series of events with his business.
Yes,
he's got some TV production involved too, and you know, of course, Travis Bajan as well. So I'm helping them host their Southern California events. Actually, I got to lock in a venue for them, but that'll be in August. So nothing much after that. I think I'll plan to hit the Utah event in November again. Just because I want to qualify for the Arnold because I'm in Ohio.
Is that the Brazil Cup?
Yeah, that's a fun tournament.
I've never been there. I got my eye on it. I want to make plans to go there because that was always one of my bucket list tournaments because there's a lot of awesome pullers in Utah that don't get the publicity because they don't really need to. But there's a lot. You will, if you're not careful, you can walk in that tournament and you may know the household names, but if you're not careful, some of the guys that are local there will knock you on your ass if you're not careful because they're just as strong as anybody else. It's just they don't have all the social media and all that kind of stuff going on. So you really gotta, you know, be careful about doing that. And the Brazil Cup, I want to say Preacher is like November 11th or 12th or something like that.
Yeah, it's usually right around that middle of November.
Yeah, Midvale, Utah. Get a hold of Bob Brown. He's your contact guy for that. So.
Yeah, he runs that tournament really, really quick too, and he just wants to get it done, get out, and go back to his place where everybody does the after pull. But it's a fun event. You know, the classes are always pretty stacked. So.
Did you know, Jamie? Yeah. And the reason I'm bringing this up because I saw the latest picture. You took a picture with one of your longtime friends. Now, this happened about maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and a name from the past resurfaced. He got a hold of me. And he's been wanting, you know, to get back in arm wrestling. And him and I were talking, you know, hey, I'd love to, you know, out of respect, I love what you do, this, that, and the other. I was wondering, hey, would you be able to, you know, you and I can maybe hook up for a match down the road later this year. I can get back into shape. I'm like, yeah, you know, how much you weigh? He told me. I was like, damn, that's a big boy, you know. But I love the guy. So the man, Mr. Jeremy Petruccio, I saw you take a picture of him the other day. And that kind of is like, oh, yeah, he's going to get back into it. You know, he was a 2014 national champion. I think he went to Worlds that year, I believe, too.
Yeah, he did. He went to Worlds that year. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was in town. a few days ago, he said, "Hey, I'm going to be passing through Riverside." And I said, "Well, where at?" And he was going to the auto center, which is 2 miles from my house. So I met him over there, and we chatted for a minute. He did mention you guys are going to pull.
Yeah.
He mentioned that, and he says he's going to get back into shape and start training again and make another run at it. But yeah, he had some health issues in recent years, and looks like he's cleared to go. And yeah, he's pretty excited about because I've told him all the stuff that's been happening with arm wrestling, and he sees it, online. I said, man, that's a good time to get back in. A lot of opportunities. So let's hope he can stay healthy. And yeah, it's good to have him back.
Yeah, because that's an interesting match too. And maybe if I do that, it'll come down to, depending on what my schedule presents itself. It may be like, okay, do I, do this Brazilian Cup thing, or do I just take this match with Patricio and say, okay, because I probably won't be able to do both, but if we can lock down a date, because I know the San Diego area, they got some tournaments coming up in September and one in November. So,
Yeah. Greg's event in November, I think that's the finals for his the TV production stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's in San Diego. And I think in August is the one that I'm supposed to lock down. And I think those are going to be starting next month. He's got one every month until something like that. But yeah, there's always something going on in Southern California, right?
Always, Speaking of Southern California, which is the home of the King of California, do we know if there's a third edition coming in soon? Do we know that by chance?
Who, Derek?
I mean, just any kind of, like, we had 2 of them so far. And
the King of Cali event. Oh,
yes.
I'm not sure. I'll talk to Dave. Kyle hasn't really been on social media much.
Right.
But I'm glad you brought that up. I'll reach out to him and see what he's got going. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to host another one pretty soon here.
Because that's been a hit, and so far that has been turned into the Derek Smith Invitational, because the first edition he beat Tom Nelson, the second edition he beat Tim Breslin, so that's become the Derek Smith Invitational. But that thing is getting bigger and bigger as quiet as it's kept, and I think all eyes need to be on that. So I would imagine at some point one of those arm wrestling events will be a King of Cali 3. I would imagine, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah.
Yeah, and that 200-pound class is getting crazy. I mean, let's be real. We still got Luke Kin up in Northern California, but he's a lot lighter. He's a 185 guy, but he can go in and do damage to the 200 class. But just for people who are actually 200 pounds, I mean, you got Dallas Langston, I think he's the highest ranked out here as far as the rankings.
Yeah.
Craig Tullier is going to be in Hawthorne. He's ranked number 1 right now. So Dallas is trying to get that win on Craig so Dallas can, move into number 1. I said, watch it, Dallas, because I'll crack that ass too. So I got this running joke with Dallas. I said, when he's number 1, I'm going to get a match with him, and I'm going to get some revenge on that super match that I lost to him a few years back.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
When it's your training partner, you know how to beat him. So it's a little bit different. But
right.
He's a tricky bastard. He's strong. But
oh yeah,
there's a lot of guys who are 200 pounds. So actually my point was you got Oleg. He's a little bit lighter than 200. But you have Oleg, Mika, myself, and Dallas. And we kind of have this pact that we're all going to train together and just level up. Because those guys are coming up, man.
And you can't help but to level up. When you're in that group and y'all train together, whatever, you're going to bring each other up. So you don't have a choice but to, go all in. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
Ooh, Jamie, guess what? Fox 8 Ball says Jamie Sheldon at Arm Wars versus Ryan Bowen. Your thoughts? What would you think about it? That's not a match that's out there. He just presented that.
I mean, I'm always down to pull Bowen. I like Bowen, but I don't know if that'd be a good match. I don't really know what level Bowen's at.
Right.
If he was knocking on doors like RBJ and people like that would put him a significant level above me. Mm-hmm. So that might not be a good match for him. To take, if he can take something with somebody better, meaning that's what I meant by it. I mean, I'd be down, but I don't know. I have to see a little bit more data from Mr. Bowen as far as pulling North Americans for me to have a better answer about that. But I'm down. If he's down, we're about the same weight.
That'd be awesome. Well, man, somebody get a hold of Neil Pickup and throw that out there and see what's going on. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, he's knocking on Ingen Terzi's door. See, like he's already way out of my pay grade if he's wanting to pull people like that.
Right.
But I'll entertain it if he wants to.
Oh, there you go. That'd be awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, we've been on here for about 45 minutes. Is there anything else you want to add before I go ahead and cut you loose? Because I know you got some kids to pick up from school.
Yeah, I've got my little one here. I got to go get the other two. Yeah, just tell everybody, buy NatFit, be happy, enjoy life, and arm wrestle.
And I don't know if you're watching, but I got my NatFit right here, BCAA, pink lemonade, if you need me. There you go.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
And I got to hit you up with some more, by the way.
Yeah, let me know, man. We got some pretty good flavors. You know what turned out to be a big hit was our Mountain Dew flavored BCAAs. It was supposed to be a joke with me and Artem, but it turns out that people love it across the country. So,
nice.
Yeah, so I'll have to get you that one. It tastes just like Mountain Dew.
Oh, I'm gonna be off the charts. I'm gonna be just losing my mind if I got some of that. Right on, dude. We'll talk soon about that. But until then, my friend, take care, be healthy, and I will see you down in Hawthorne.
Yes, thanks for the call, man.
Yes, sir. Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye. That was Jamie Sheldon, CEO, chairman of NatFit. Awesome match coming up with AJ Henson. I suggest you guys tune in. Now, I'm not sure who's going to go live at that Nevada State Championships in Hawthorne, Nevada, but I assure you, his weight class, oh my God, just off the charts, right? You know Team Utah is going to be strong. Team California, I'll be there. I think Devin Bear and his crew, they'll be there. So Corey Miller will be there. It's going to be happening, guys. And don't forget, on that card, you also got Eli Sadov versus Ole Mazoy, and you got Robbie Topi versus Tony Tomlinson. So those are your, along with AJ and Jamie. So those are your 3 super match cards for that day. 2 weeks from this weekend. Be there. I'm taking off, guys. I got to go ahead and get some errands done before I get ready to go to work. But I want to thank everybody for joining me yet again. And as always, be good to each other. And until next time, see ya when I see ya. Y'all be good to each other.